I welcome you all to the MTFD 12th online Sunday worship service. Today we shall talk about the goal of the Christians based on Matthew chapter 5. Okay, let me read Matthew chapter 5 verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. In the 5th of Matthew, Jesus talks about 8 beatitudes. So out of which the most central and the most significant is to have pure heart, without which we cannot accomplish the rest of the 7 beatitudes that is mentioned in Matthew chapter 5. This is one of the most central principles of the Christian's life that we found in the whole Bible. The Greek word for heart is kardia, so from which we get the word cardiac. Every culture has some internal organs which it considers the emotional, spiritual, and mental center of a person. So in our culture, we speak of the heart as being that center. When we say, I love you with all my heart. So it's our way of talking about the very center of person's emotions, thoughts, and essence. The Bible talks lots about heart. It is used some 105 times in 98 verses in New Testament alone. So it means the heart is the center of who we really are. Our hearts really matters to God because the Lord's look at the heart. In 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 6 and 7, here we see about God's choosing the second king of Israel. So according to this story, when God rejected King Saul to continue as the king of Israel because of his disobedience, God directed prophet Samuel to go and anoint one of the son of Jesse to sit on the throne of Israel. So as Samuel went and observed, Samuel was considering Eliab, David's older brother, as the one he should anoint as king because he looks so handsome, so tall. But God tells him, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as men see it, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. See, the standard for citizenship in the kingdom of God are extremely high. The men of the world bless those who appear pure and holy to man, but put on marks of purity, even though their hearts were pained with sepulchre, wickedness, rottenness. But the greatest blessings and the noblest goal of Christian life is to know God, to experience His presence in our daily life, and to live for His glory. So if we have this goal for our life, the outcomes will be a daily walk with God that delights God, blesses us, and fill our life with joy until the time we go to be with Him forever. So blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. There is a story of a private Christian college. So the admission committee was interviewing candidates. So the committee asked all the candidates a certain set of questions, and the reply were much the same. So the question was, what will you do after you gain an admission into this college? And the answer was, I will endeavor to gain the best education I can. The second question is, what will you do after you have earned your degree? I will secure a good job. The third question again, what will you do after securing a good job? Well, I will earn a good deal of money and have a happy life. So the question continues. After that, what will you do? After that, I will enjoy my retirement. And again, so after your retirement, what will you do? And there was no answer, no response. So, and usually this was the end of the conversation that expressed the typical mentality of students, college students today. So that is what the majority of the people in the world are living for. Getting a good education, having a good jobs, and living a happy life ever. So they have no thoughts of anything after that. So their long-term plans ends with this Fed bank account and other retirement savings. Let us think about ourselves, those of us who claim to have belief in Jesus Christ and have dedicated our life to God. So, are our long-term plans and goals similar with those of college students today? So what do we desire the most? What are we living for? So that is the most significant questions of the Christian life, of any life. That is the questions, these beatitudes we are studying in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8, and the answers. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Matthew chapter 5 verse 8. So that's the goal of the Christian life. So that's what we are living for, that we may live our life in such a way that we see God. That is our goal. So if we see God, that will open up all treasures of blessings, not only for eternity, but also for life here and now. So pure heart is the key to opens God's treasures. The aim of Jesus Christ coming into this world is not to reform the manner of a society, but rather to change the heart of a sinner like you and me. Jesus did not come into the world just simply because we have some bad habits and that needs to be broken, but rather he came into this world because we have such a dirty heart that needs to be purified. Man looks on the outward appearance, but Lord look on the heart. See, from the heart are all types of issues of life. According to Matthew chapter 15 verse 18 and 19, it is read, "What comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, false witness, slander. So these are what defiles a man." Today in our society and culture, we try to solve human problems while neglecting the centrality of God in the life of the soul. We are so bombarded by human tragedies of poverty and crime and abuses and negligence and war and all types of injustice of man to man that we are tempted to agree with the world, thus make us worry with whether our soul will ever see God or not. So this is the greatest of all tragedy, that in seeking to relieve the temporal misery of man, we set aside the centrality of God. So here, our first goal is not to change the manner of society, but our first goal is to make our hearts right with God so that we see God. God is the great goal of becoming pure. So when we abandon this goal, human culture collapses into ruin. So what is it to see God? To be admitted to His presence, to be filled by His glory, to be comforted by His grace. The second is, what is it to have a pure heart? Living by the rule of God, living a life that is pleasing God. And the second is, living for the purpose of God, having a single-minded devotion to God. Lastly, what I want to ask is, what is it in your life that is keeping you from deeper relationship with God? Your attitudes towards someone else, or feeling of pride in yourself, or desire you know that is displeasing God, or your lack of commitment? See, God made us and He alone knows us better than anyone else. He can cleanse us and He can renew our relationship. He can renew our goal and He can set us right with Him. We cannot be perfected on this earth. However, we have come to the point that Jesus is established as the Lord of our life. So, here we can continue to live through His word, to live a blessed life. And lastly, let us read one of the beautiful Psalms with prayer, and let us conclude our meditations. Psalm number 139, verses 23 and 24. Verse 23. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. 24. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. The only conditions to see God is to maintain a pure heart. We need to allow God to search us, to know us, and to renew us every day. Let us keep our hearts cleaned so that we see God. God bless you all. Thank you.